Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. So joining me today on the Caddo Convos is my new friend, Troy Sage with Centric Realty Group at LPT. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm happy to be here. Thanks.
Glad to have you here in the studio. Let's talk about your business. What is your business and how do you serve your customers?
So we're a real estate team, and our slogan is real estate differently, because we do things very different from the norm, per se.
Okay, and what does that mean? Like, how are you different from your competitors?
Our mission is to provide consumers true transparency. I think what's happened in the past maybe 5 to 10 years is that agents have lost their edge. They're used to the 3 Ps of real estate on a listing. They put a sign in the front yard, they put in the MLS, and they pray for a buyer. And anyone that's been in real estate has heard that phrase before.
Sure.
But I think agents have become complacent in how to actually work with the general public. So our goal is to be transparent and establish a game plan for each one of our clients, because each client has a different want and need to get to their destination.
Well, what do you think caused that complacency that you're seeing in your competitors?
Well, now we're going to go deep, right?
Yes.
I like it. Okay. I think during what I call the unicorn years, it became very easy to get a license. I think there's a lot of posturing on social media. And it became very easy to just say, hey, this is what your home is worth, and let's put it on the market and sell it. And now what we're seeing in this market, because I've been in real estate over 20 years. Yeah. So I've seen this cycle before, is that the general public has had a disservice by the market being so easy during those unicorn years. Sellers were getting way too much money than what the home was actually worth. And I don't mean that in a negative way.
Right.
They were getting great return on their money. But now we're seeing a real market. And when I sit down with clients now, they want to know what is the nuts and bolts of the market.
Yeah.
And I just don't, I don't want the consumer to be misled in any way, shape, or form. Right. So we're very analytical with our numbers. We're very purposeful in our marketing. For sellers, that we put a ton of marketing into getting their property exposed. And I think that's something that's going to come back if agents are going to stay in the business.
I think it's interesting that you're putting the emphasis on the marketing, because marketing, even people I talk to in the business that I'm in, the media business, is there's lots of saturation, and a lot of what we're seeing out there is not human driven, right? And so you're competing with a lot of just stuff that is out there. So how do you maintain authenticity for your brand and for the people that you care for?
That's a great question. Number one, we put the product first. So if it's a house that we're marketing, all of our marketing is about the house. It's not about, hey, look at Troy or his team and look what we're doing. Right. And I think that's where consumers get, now in this market, they're getting turned off by it. They could care less like how great you are in your business. They want to know, how are you going to service me and get the job done? So all of our marketing is focused on the product, meaning the house. And if it's a buyer, all of our marketing, if we're attracting buyers, is let's establish a solid game plan so you understand that there's no hiccups or there's no surprises. I mean, nothing is worse than having a buyer buy a home and 6 months later they call and they say, hey man, I wasn't told that there was higher property tax than what I had anticipated.
Yeah.
And that's a big one. We hear that a lot, and it's sad more than anything, if that makes sense. It's sad to have someone call and say, hey, Troy, I didn't use you as an agent, but I've see your stuff on YouTube, and hey, can you check this for me? Like, oh, this wasn't explained to you, and now they're stuck.
Right. But they can reach out to you, as they have, to at least see how they're stuck. And that's information to have, and definitely to make a better decision next time when they're ready to make a purchase. We all love stories.
Yeah.
So walk me through someone that reached out to you, was referred to you. How did you get them to their dream home, and what was the process there, and how are they now?
Okay. I'll tell you one most recent. So I'm in 3 states. So I've been in real estate a long time. I have a team in California, a team in Arizona, but I live here and my focus is here with my team here.
Yeah.
A gentleman called and said, "Hey, we're thinking about moving to the DFW area. Can you help us out?" So he flew in. He found me on YouTube.
Yeah.
He flew in. Him and his wife showed him homes for 2 days, turned over every stone, found out what area he wanted. We couldn't find a home in those 2 days. So I said, not to worry, we do things a little bit different. So we kept looking for homes, and I went and I shot video of every home he was interested in and walked through as if he was with me. Sent him a private video. When he got the video, he says, "That's the house." We wrote the offer. 21 days later, he was moving in. We were there to give him keys. And he has not only was he a client, he's become a friend. We've had dinner now,
Yeah.
and that's the ultimate goal. He will tell the story like this: "I was looking for a home, I gained a friend, and I love my house. There was no hiccups at the end."
That's a great story. What is your favorite part about your business?
So a lot of agents will say, "I love being of service," right? "I love helping people." And I will say the same thing.
Sure.
But if you're asking me nuts and bolts, my most favorite part of the real estate transaction is the negotiations.
Really?
I truly believe that there's a win-win situation in any negotiation. And I think in our industry where people butt heads is all ego-driven. I'll give you an example, if you don't mind.
Of course.
So here in Texas, we have an option period of time that the buyer can do their due diligence, have an inspection, and normally they come back and they say, "Hey, here's some things that we want fixed, or we want a chunk of money as a credit," or there's a bunch of ways to negotiate. This is a very pivotal point in negotiations. When the listing agent and the buyer's agent can come together and rationalize what's real and what isn't. Okay, so here's a real example. A $20 GFCI plug that needs to be installed into a kitchen or bathroom is not a $5,000 discount.
Yeah, fair.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I love having the conversation with the agent. I love having the conversation with my client and putting the reality behind it. So when we pull the emotion out and we talk reality and numbers, and how do we keep it win for the buyer, no matter what side I'm representing, and how we keep it win for the seller to get them to their destination, things work really smooth. Now there might be some heated conversations per se.
We're human. Yeah.
But that's my ultimate favorite part of the contract. Of course, at the end is everyone's favorite part, and some agents would say it's the commission. But to me, it's I get to see you. If you're selling your home with me, you get to go to that next destination.
Yeah.
What I tell my team members all the time is if you focus on money, you'll make a little. But if you focus on the relationship and you focus on what's doing right for the client, whether you agree with it or not, you will build an industry and you'll have continuous business.
And you mentioned your team, and that's very important because anyone can have a message, but it sounds like your team is structured, that has the same mindset you do. And so tell me about your team and the approach that I imagine you meet often, share stories, share commitments. Obviously, you're all in it together from a customer standpoint. Tell me about your team.
So my team, I have 3 teams, but let's talk about Texas.
Yeah, Texas. Okay.
My Texas team, when I interview an agent, I, number one, want to make sure that we're on the same page. So if an agent comes to me and says, "Hey, here's a question I'll ask. What's your big why?" "Well, I want to make $1 million this year." Awesome. Who wouldn't? What's your big why? "Well, I want to help people," or "I want to build an industry," or whatever it is. That gets transformed into, "This is your purpose on our team." Okay? So the way I explain to my team is this: if you're really good at calling people, you're going to call people, but you're not good at being in front of people. Just like working out in a gym, we're going to work that muscle too.
Yeah.
So to answer your question about do we meet all the time.
Sure.
So I have a team meeting every Monday morning. And it's about 2.5 hours. As a matter of fact, it's open to all agents. I don't care what brokers they're at. If they want to learn something from me, great, I can learn something from them. It's a group effort. So I do not have a team where I go, "Hey, buddy, here's 10 people to call and let me know how it works out." It's, "Buddy, here's 10 people we're going to call together until I'm comfortable and you're comfortable in having the conversation."
Right. And consistency.
Consistency is super important. It's not about sales. What I tell my agents all the time is like, we're in the sales business. So example, if we're calling expired listings, I explain it to my team like this. That's someone that just went through a divorce with the market, maybe their agent. We can't call in blazing saddles and go, hey, your home didn't sell. When are you going to pick the next agent that's going to sell your home? That's ridiculous. We call to see, hey, if the home had sold, where were you going to go? And if we can show you a way that's possible to still make that happen, are you interested? If they say no, go pound sand, great, because there's 1.2 million people in North Dallas, Texas. It's a numbers game. That's where the sales comes in.
Yeah.
So our team, we are interconnected all the time. There's not a deal that happens that I'm not part of not only the contract, but the entire process. And it's set up on purpose like that if a team member gets sick or they have to travel, when I call the client, it's not a surprise like, oh, the boss is calling and there's a problem. We build these relationships with our clients through this team effort per se.
And I think that gives a lot of people comfort because they can build trust in. I mean, there's one person, but when you demonstrate that you run the business, you walk the walk, talk the talk, but you run your business that way, and your people know it, that gives a lot of confidence.
I agree, and my theory has been forever that I'm never going to ask a team member to do something that I'm not doing. I'm boots on the ground with my team. We don't compete. So obviously, if you called me and you're my friend, you said, hey, Troy, come list my home, or hey, I want to buy a home, you're working with me, and you might meet a team member in the event that maybe I get sick or something happens that I can't be of service that one day.
Right.
But we don't compete, and I don't buy leads. So it's not I'll just say it, it's not a Zillow Flex team to where we're answering the phones for Zillow saying, yes, I'll go show a home, and we don't know if the person's qualified. The focus is on establishing a game plan for each client that suits their needs. We can only do that the same way an attorney or a doctor would in regards to someone's health. And when the team really starts meeting people and sitting down with people and we're having these conversations, it's a totally different feeling.
Yeah.
Our clients are comfortable. We have an office. I mean, that's another thing that's like ironic for some people because they work out of Starbucks because they're working out of their spare bedroom.
Right.
And I'm not criticizing those agents. I'm just saying we are pushing the standards of real estate back to the level where it should have stayed.
You mentioned office. Mm-hmm. You and I are both located in a Caddo Office Reimagined office space.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, why did you choose Caddo?
Well, there's two stories I'll tell you. The first one is I wanted an office space where I had a spot and my team had a spot and we had conference rooms that we could use. And I wanted to save money. Let's be real.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Right? All right. We're in a tight economy right now. And I wanted to do this the smart way where I wasn't, say, going over the top on finances and maybe I wasn't happy with my location after I chose it. So that's how we got into Caddo. The funny story was, and I did my vision board last year, and I pulled some pictures of different office spaces, and I put it on a poster board. My wife and I do this every year, separately to kind of compare. And we walked in the Caddo office, and I'm like, that is almost identical to what I saw on the vision board. The manager was amazing. I said, hey, I don't have a huge budget, but here's what I need. And she goes, here's what we can do for you. And I'm like, we're in.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Like, we have a great office. We have use of mini office spaces if we need the common space or even the conference rooms. It's better to me than having a brick and mortar in one spot.
And you, geographically, I mean, you can be all over the DFW market, but also you serve 2 other states. So let's talk about the markets there and how do you serve those?
So my California team, to give you a little bit of background, I started my career there in 2005.
Okay.
So I've been through the peaks, the valleys. I was the short sale guy in Temecula, California for 10 years. And I had my own brokerage. And then as life changed, I got rid of my brokerage and affiliated with LPT, which allows me to work in all 3 states. So
yes.
I still fly to California 2-3 times a year to physically be with my team. I fly to Phoenix, Arizona, where I have a small team. My sister actually runs that team for me. It's basically her team, let's just say. Okay. So every Monday we're all on Zoom together. I have an open calendar for anyone on the team in any state that, hey, we need to sit down and work on something together, whether it's training or with a client. They just go on to my Calendly link and book it. I get a ping and I'm there. So we do a lot with Zoom.
Yeah, of course.
I think during those unicorn years, we learned to do a lot of things through video, which is what led me to shooting videos of homes and how I kept selling homes through that period. And now we use that tool today.
Of course, you developed it, and it's successful, and that's where people are going. It's why we create media for our businesses, right?
Yeah.
It's because people are going to the internet and getting to know you, and it's important that you see that as a business, especially being forward-facing and honest with the people that you want them all to have the same story. They need a thing, they made a friend, and they love their home, right? So if that's the story you're telling, that's what needs to be in all of your media. And it sounds like, with 3 teams in 3 different states, you're working toward that. So we're both here in Texas, we're in the North Texas area, and there are seasons of house buying. I think a lot of people know them, but for people who've been out of the market for a while, when is the best time to buy, best time to sell?
And you're 100% correct. When I first got here in Texas, I didn't believe in seasonality. And then it hit me right in the face in the fall.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Right? October came and people were like, I'm waiting until spring. And I thought, well, I grew up in Michigan, so I understand the seasons.
Sure.
And I thought, why are we waiting until spring? Well, because there's going to be more homes. And my mind went to, if there's more homes, that means there's going to be less negotiation power that you have, right? If you're a seller, if you're a buyer, it becomes open market, right? I could be more choosy. So I will say in Texas that we do have a busy season that starts right around the end of February, beginning of March. People start ramping up. And then April, May, June, July, August, those 5 months, if you're a realtor, you're going to have rollerblades on and your phone is going to ring off the hook. Now, it's how do you provide the service to keep people all lined up, right? So if you said, Troy, I'm thinking about buying a home, my first question would be, well, let's establish a game plan, right? Let's make sure your finances are aligned. Let's check the area that you want to be in. If you're a first-time home buyer, our school's important. Is commute important? My goodness, commute. People from other states that move here, they don't realize that 6 miles could be 25 minutes.
Yep.
So let's make sure you're comfortable with that, right? Once we go through that type of scenario, and we write this all out, we spend a lot of time with our clients before we ever go hit the road, then we have clarity. So on the seasonality side, I think seasonality is speculative, because if it's a slow market, let's say it's in the fall, you as a buyer have a little bit more negotiation powers than in the spring when everyone else is looking.
Right.
And same for a seller. I'm finding that the market we're in today is this. In March of 2026, we're in this market, that buyers think they have a major advantage and they can take advantage of sellers. And that's not true. And sellers are really hoping for this number up here, but the appreciation nationally, but especially here, hasn't gone as high as we had hoped. And that's why we're seeing homes sit on the market longer. Then buyers build us false confidence that, well, they're going to give it to me for 10% below market value, but buyers aren't remembering that some of these sellers have 2.9 and 3.5% interest rates. They don't really care. And it creates this goulash, I call it, of emotions.
Goulash of emotions.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's good for notes. Well, that's excellent. So for people who are, so we're in March of 26, but let's say I missed the boat and it's August, and I'm in a place where I need to have that story for myself. Is all lost because I've waited kind of past the peak?
It's never a loss.
Never lost. Okay.
Okay. So think about this, and I tell my team this: people buy and sell real estate every single day across the country. Yeah. So it's taking the emotional attachment and throwing it out. Here's what I told my team this week at a meeting. I said, do me a favor, for the next 2 weeks, stay off social media and don't watch the news. And watch how clear your mind becomes on how laser focused you are with what your clients' wants and needs are and how you find them something. I'm a believer that if you want something and you put forth the effort and you laser focus on it, it will be achieved. Maybe with some roadblocks in the way. But I never think anyone's missed the boat. Because if a seller says, hey, think about this. Divorce happens all the time, heaven forbid, right? Death happens all the time.
Life changes.
Right? Yeah. No one's, I don't want to say no one, but people aren't planning. I didn't wake up this morning going, if I die today, here's my plan. Right? But when that happens, that home has to be sold. That asset has to be liquidated 90% of the time. So when things like that happen, it has nothing to do with seasonality.
Right.
So you never miss out on seasonality.
There's always a door opening and a door closing. Literally.
That's right.
Interesting.
That's right.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today, just sharing with our audience, you're passionate for what you do, obviously your time in the business, and you've seen a lot of change in this industry, especially these past couple decades. My goodness, what a roller coaster. So thanks for coming in and just sharing that with us today on the show.
I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagine. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.